All right, now this is a shocking story that's in fact come in from the United Kingdom, which has revealed some pretty horrifying details of rampant racism, misogyny and bullying in the country's largest firefighting and rescue organization. This is all in all an independent report that has now found a review of London Fire Brigade. The female firefighters have reported that they have been groped, beaten and had their helmets filled with urine. One of them also revealed that male firefighters who go on safety visits to women's homes go through drawers looking for underwear and other sex toys. They spent hours bragging about the sex toys that they found and also slut-shame the women. The review has also mentioned that there is a banter culture in which female firefighters often become the target of jokes. There are more than 4,500 of the London Fire Brigade staff are firefighters, but only about 425 of them are women, and slightly more than 500 employees are said to be from ethnic minorities. Now, according to the report, there appeared to be a deep resistance towards women being firefighters. The senior figures have also explained that the approach of the male colleagues is to treat women badly and to hope to get rid of them. Now, other than misogyny, the brigade is also plagued with the issue of racism, to the point that reviewers have labelled that the institutionally misogynist and racist in one incident logged a report where a black firefighter had a noose put over his locker. And the shocking details continue to pour out of the report one after another. In another one, a Muslim colleague had bacon and sausages stuffed in his pockets and a terrorist hotline sign that was posted onto his locker. Note that Muslims refrain from consuming pork as a part of their religious custom. The report, titled The Independent Cultural Review of London Fire Brigade, is in fact based on the experiences of more than 2,000 members of the staff. It was commissioned after the death of Jayden Francois Esprit, a trainee at the Wembley Fire Station who took his own life at the age of just 21 in August 2020. Now, it is important to understand the nature of bullying in the fire brigade. Firefighters' lives often depend on their colleagues as they rely on each other to get out safely from burning buildings. It also becomes very, very difficult to build this kind of trust when they are constantly being treated with disrespect and are constantly bullied in this manner. All right, now to give us more perspective in terms of how issues such as bullying and how rampant are they and how governments should, of course, deal with this, we're being joined by Lynn O'Donnell, who's joining us from London, who's a journalist and also an author. And we're also being joined by Mr. Katira Petyagoda, who is a geopolitical expert. Now, Lynn, let me begin by asking you this. This, of course, is a pretty shocking report that goes in great detail about the kind of, firstly, racism and also the sexism that is prevalent in the employees' work in the fire brigade. What do you make of this?
Oh, hi. Thanks for having me. You know, I really am not surprised by it. It is shocking, and the details that you've gone through just now are really awful. The man who did the report, Nazir Afzal, is a lawyer who has concentrated and specialised in human rights and women's rights throughout his career. And he himself described it as horrific. He sat down with 2,000 people working for the London Fire Brigade, and that's about 40% of the people who it employs. And he said it was just shocking. Some of them broke down. He said every single woman that he talked to, who is a member of the fire brigade, said that they had experienced sexism and misogyny. Some of them felt that they were being, there was an effort to try and force them out of the fire brigade, and they wondered when they went to answered calls to fight fires whether or not their male colleagues would support them or whether they were putting their lives in danger. But the thing that struck me about it is that there's very little in the reporting of it today that asks the question why. The London Fire Brigade, like most of the public service institutions in the United Kingdom, only opened up to women and to minority ethnic groups about 30 years ago. But that's still 30 years of time that could have been spent on educating, as well, not just the people within the institution, but also the broader public. And some
All right, there seems to be a bit of an issue with the line with Lynn O'Donnell there. But Mr. Kadira Pettigoda, if I can bring you in on this. Now, this of course, is a very, very serious and a damning assessment of the manner in which it is now being said that racism and sexism is so prevalent in the firefighting department within London. What is your first reading of this? And also, how much of a risk does it put people of colour and people who are ethnic minorities, people who are also of the LGBTQ communities who may be serving within the fire department?
Well, I think workplace bullying is a scourge that should receive criminal penalties, especially in the context of we have a mental health and suicide epidemic going on. So there should be zero tolerance for any kind of bullying, and especially this kind of bullying, which involves discrimination. And I think in addition to the safety of colleagues, it's also important that the public feel that when they call these emergency services, that they'll be treated equally. We've had tragedies like Grenfell, where you had a really disproportionate number of Black, ethnic and other Asian and minority groups being affected. So I think it's very important that they project an image that everyone is treated equally and by the emergency services. And I think that racism is common in most countries, but I feel that in recent years it's really been whipped up by the mainstream media and by the politicians, from the neocon war on terror through to the migrant issue, the refugee crisis. I think, and it's been usually used as a way to distract people from the real causes of their suffering. And I think that's what you're seeing here, a real combination of issues affecting this situation.
Absolutely, indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Kadira Pettigoda, and also to Lynn O'Donnell for joining us on this broadcast and sharing your insights into this. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.